So for those of you who are just on the fence about AI, kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be like a real thing or not, and you're just going to sit and wait, not a good idea. I think that AI is going to be a thing. It may not be the kind of thing that people are talking about that'll revolutionize the way we live, that it's going to completely turn the world upside down. May not be that thing. However, it will be that thing that changes work, how it's done, and changes how people at work are viewed. So it's worth paying attention to, and it's worth paying attention to now, as opposed to panicking when it really becomes a reality. So it's slowly building up to a point where it's going to make an impact. So it can code now. People are talking about AI replacing SaaS applications. So those are like enterprise applications like Salesforce, Workday, whatever it is that you use at work or have exposure to. So AI may replace those. That's just creeping up, not quite a reality, but getting there. Uh, but regardless, at the end of the day, what matters is how it impacts you. So don't sit on the fence and just wait. Get ahead of it. And there's a way you can do it. So I like to use a diagnostic. And the first part of the diagnostic is pretty simple in terms of understanding what kind of work you do. Whether it's your own business, whether you work for somebody, understand the kind of work that you do. So the first type of work that people do is transactional work. So you're scheduling, you're booking appointments, repeatable tasks that are kind of single loop, go in there, do the task in and out and do it consecutively. So that's the transactional. Most likely, if you do anything like that, AI could do it faster and better, higher quality. So you really need to think hard and think hard now about how you're going to address it. The second type of task is analytical. So these tasks are structured thinking. So you're interpreting data, you're doing financial analysis, you're actually making sense of data in different ways. So this kind of analytical work is not completely going away, but it'll be augmented. It'll just go to the next level. It'll be next level kind of work where a big chunk of this work will be used, AI will be used for a big chunk of this work, but not all of it. So you still need to think really deeply about what you're going to do if you're doing analytical type of work, because you need to up your game to a higher level of thinking. You need to do higher level analytical work. So if you're just doing spreadsheets and some simple type of analysis, you need to actually start doing deeper analysis and really being right most of the time about your data interpretation. So that's analytical work. So analytical work is also like dashboards. It can impact research if you do research type of work. If you build dashboards, that's really analytical type of work. And you really need to think hard about how you can up your game by using AI agents to do all of the research fact finding for you. So you can spend a lot more time on that complex interpretation of bottom line, what are the outcomes? So what behind the data that you're putting together or the research that you're doing. So the third type of work that that people do, and that might be you, is judgment-based work. So stakeholder management, decision making, coming up with strategy, prioritizing based on data, based on research, that kind of work will not be as impacted by AI because it's using human experience, human reasoning, and it's very contextual. You need to understand the context deeply, and odds are you understand the context a lot better than AI. So that kind of work is not only not going to be impacted by AI as much, it's going to be even more in demand. So if that's not the kind of skills that you use day to day, you better start learning to use them if you want to make yourself more valuable if you want to make yourself just indispensable to your company, to your business, to the business world around you, to your work life. You should really work on those skills. Now, critical thinking is foundationally a big part of that, prioritization, strategic thinking, but it needs to be more than just critical thinking. It needs to be learning how to think and articulate yourself strategically. So a start is, yeah, I use ChatGPT, I use Claude for some things. I've even developed some agents, so I should be good. And I don't have much to worry about. I'm just going to sit on the fence and just figure things out as they go. Probably not the right approach. You want to get ahead of it proactively, figure out what kind of job type you have, what kind of role you play. And then based on that, you need to figure out, do you need to completely redirect yourself to another career, or reposition yourself in the same career, or do more of the same of what you're doing. But either way, it's worth it to diagnose where you are and then come up with a path forward. Don't sit on the fence and wait